This Sunday we have the story of the so-called doubting Thomas, where the apostles are gathered again in the upper room, and they've mostly all seen the resurrected Lord, and Thomas doesn't rightly believe, he doesn't yet believe, and so he even says, I'm not going to believe unless I myself can put my hands in the wound in his side and the nail marks in his hands. So when Jesus appears to them in that upper room where they're gathered together, he calls Thomas to himself and he says, look, come here. Put your hand in my side. Put your fingers in my hands and see that it's really I that is raised from the dead. This isn't a figment. This isn't a story. This isn't an illusion. And Thomas, I think he's called doubting Thomas wrongly. More accurately, he should be recognized for his confession of faith, who after touching the Lord's wounds, he exclaims, my Lord and my God. He recognizes Jesus right there through his wounds. He recognizes Jesus because of the cross. Not because of the resurrection, but because of the cross. That's what identifies Jesus for us. And so as you look out in the world and you see suffering, sometimes we see suffering and we ask that question, well, where is God? You know, there's horrible atrocities happening, or I'm suffering in my personal life where there's war breaking out. Where is God in all of this turmoil and all this darkness? He's right there. Right? He is the one suffering. The world will always persecute him. And it's in his wounds that we recognize him. It's in our own sufferings that we come to know Christ crucified. Right? We Catholics, we're always the ones who stand up and announce the great scandal of the cross. No one wants to see Christ. No one wants to see God. No one wants to see our Savior suffering and weak. But yet, that's how we got to Easter, was that Christ suffered and died for us. But that's where we recognize Christ. We recognize him specifically in the nail marks. We recognize him by putting our hands into the gauge in his side, where St. Longitus pierced his side with the lance. We recognize Jesus in suffering, and we come to know Christ through our own crosses, united to that of his, so that when we do encounter suffering, we can be like Thomas and exclaim, my Lord and my God.